5. Questioning the leadership on that one. Seems like that would have been, let's reschedule it till tomorrow.
Yeah, you know.
With the same applicant.
That's not excusable. Yeah. And that's not, especially after. Then there should be making
After,
sure.
after what?
First time,
Yeah.
there should have been an overt action to make sure.
To GMD.
For cop out. Oh, I had no.
I can't do that without the password? Okay.
This,
No.
yeah.
Because you do, you know, I understand
Yeah.
that you're sick of it.
Go down here real quick. Have you connected to the, no, this is new.
And going forward, we've made some changes in terms
yes,
of
no, this is not
what
new.
she needs
It's
to
not
do
This
on
is
the
not new. I
notice
used to be on
make sure that
GMD.
it's
Let's try it,
mailed
let's try it, let's see if we're.
as well as emailed
Let's talk.
and confirmed.
This is the problem I've been having.
Yeah,
Why? Just because I'm not
because
logged
your
in?
password, yeah,
Because I'm not logged in?
correct.
But I'm getting my, so,
You're on public, which is fine.
but I'm getting emails.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's, and that's what we don't want to screw up.
Yeah, I definitely want to ensure
Play with it too much,
that.
it's gonna lock you out, and then all of a sudden you're not gonna even get your show.
Did you look at this,
See if I see that in here.
info outflow?
When did you get notice?
You can go to,
So
you can
I
try,
didn't know until the day after. Yeah,
See it real well.
This is,
actually, was it Thursday or maybe it was Friday?
and then type password in that box, that search window.
only 1,500 people that live here work here.
He wasn't mad. So
And then up in it, yep.
Gahanna.
I could hear about that. I didn't see it, but I've heard that he was very angry with
Because remember, everything's gonna come up, anything that you log in with, Gahanna.gov.
Well, she felt, yeah, I know, yeah, yeah. I
First
can,
time?
I,
First time?
yeah.
I get it.
Oh, Miss Ansley?
Average mistake, whatever.
Look at that. Yeah. Go. Gahanna Blue.
This is the thing I was talking to you about. Do you have one of these?
Yes,
Does this shirt count? Hey, does this shirt count? Oh, come close, yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah, okay.
No. I don't think so.
You've never seen it.
I know.
I've seen so many
yeah.
things.
I have no idea where I found it.
Oh, can I take a look at it?
Oh, absolutely. But
I'll give it
this
back
is,
to you.
I was looking at this stuff back here, too. Brian Schiller.
The Brian Schiller,
Brian
yeah.
Schiller
This
line.
is where I was.
Brian.
It's okay.
And this is though that might have something to do with the way that
Email
might
you
be.
sent. I'm
Yeah, that's
trying
the-
to
I think
read
that's the pump
CIC
room.
email thread right now.
I'm gonna guess that is the brine
Creekside?
pumps.
I've
Yeah,
never seen this either.
yeah.
And trust me, I've looked at a
Yeah,
lot of
if
Creekside
this is
stuff. Yeah. It
refrigeration
looks like it,
system,
yeah.
yeah, this, I think this is the pump room for the lagoons.
Where to get it.
Yeah, I forgot I was in there.
The brine chiller, yeah.
Happy
You
Monday.
can just take that off. I just noticed it today. and I was-
Yeah, we'll take a look through.
If I
Not in
start
Teleview.
getting over there, things have really gotten out of
going on
control.
Understood.
Oh, phone, installing it on my phone. Just go to,
think-
Play
You're just gonna
Store.
go to Play Store, download Outlook.
Okay, I'm
Connect
good.
it, and then it's gonna be that same,
I'm good. This is
at that one, you're gonna do
freezing.
the full email
Right,
address.
right.
Same password.
Okay, thanks.
No, because that's the
Sorry.
day of,
No problem.
State of the City.
Call me if you need.
Oh. Yeah, I'll be. Yeah, no, it's weird.
Are we already?
I need to actually sit and read it rather than try and skim it. Like,
Understood. I know, I'm like that, I'm a lot like that.
I was like, I just read all of that in that room in 1 year. Or, you know,
To sign?
I get it.
Okay. This is the documents that we did. Yeah.
No, please don't. Please don't. You know, Dick could have put me on. I just went,
We all do.
and
And
we were gonna go.
any mayor signed the red?
No, but take a look at that.
Okay, I will.
My hope is that there was something that could be found that said, yes,
This
they
is a
did sign.
conceptual plan. Well, this is a concept plan, so these wouldn't be the final drawings.
So maybe they did have a red in there.
They, they could have.
I don't see it on the front.
That's what we'll have to go through here and see.
I haven't heard from Nancy, I'm not sure.
Is this the one?
Yeah, that's correct.
This was the original one where they proposed to go on the other side of the street.
Are you ready?
So, all right.
Something probably keep together.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hey,
And
folks.
I mentioned it to Mo.
Yeah,
and I
from
would-
water.
Yeah, I said, I saw this thing. And
Hey,
and he
Karen.
goes, oh,
That's
he-
why you
so
get
he
the-
maybe
Okay,
wants
all right,
to
here I go.
Run.
Good evening, everyone.
Oh, we're having a meeting?
All right, good evening, everyone. Today is Monday, February 27th, 2023. I've got 7 p.m. I'd like to call the meeting of the Committee of the Whole to order. We'll start first with item B, items from council office. Resolution 10-2023, resolution recognizing March 2023 as Women's History Month for the city of Gahanna. Ms. Bowers.
Yes, thank you. Just a thank you again to Clerk Van Meter and to Mr. Weaver for your assistance in drafting this. This is a draft. If there are any, after you have a chance to review it, if anybody has any suggestions, please feel free to email me or Jeremy or both of us if you'd like to make a suggestion about any particular clause. We were thinking, actually, I was thinking for the meeting on the 6th, I'd love to invite Carrie Hawk from the Historical Society and Christy Evans, who was kind of our lead researcher in digging up a lot of information on the Big Walnut Country Club to receive our resolution. I have made contact with Carrie Hawk, and she is available, so I will confirm that with her, and we'll continue to confirm our contact with Christy Evans as well. The one thing I did want to mention that's not in here that I learned this weekend that's really, I think, goes in line exactly with the theme of Women's History Month for this year, which is celebrating women who tell our stories and who tell history. In particular, I learned that Carrie Hawk has been kind of the lead contributor working with the Columbus Metropolitan Library on our history installation, the cases that are going in there and telling the history of Gahanna. So I thought it was particularly notable to make sure that we celebrate Carrie and all the work that she's done for Gahanna over the years. So I'm excited to celebrate her next week. Thank you.
Anything from my colleagues? Everyone okay with consent? All right, thank you, Ms. Bowers, for all of your work putting that together. Appreciate it. Item C, items from the Department of Public Service. Director Ambers. You'll be taking these in order, sir?
Good evening, everyone. I just want to take an opportunity to introduce myself again. I know it was pretty quick last time. My name is Sean Anvers, and I am honored to be selected as the Public Service Director here for the City of Gahanna. Some of my background is previously I spent 32 years with the Ohio Department of Transportation and was a county administrator for about 27 of those years at 5 different locations. So I have rural experience as well as urban experience, from snow and ice to operation budgets, safety program, working in the field with construction projects, as well as just overall trying to build teams So I come in front of you tonight to we have some standard quarterly supplementals. This is the damage to the city property. The department respectfully requests a transfer of funds back into the expense accounts. And then the second one is basically the same thing, but it's referring to the water meters, the fees. So water meter fee for the department respectfully requests the transfer of funds into the expense accounts. And the third is a motion. We are respectfully requesting legislation authorization the city of Gahanna to participate in the Southwest Ohio Purchase for government for road salt for the bid of 23 and 24. Anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Director. Colleagues? Okay. I guess for the first two, if barring any objections, on for first and then consent. And then for the third, just on consent for the next meeting.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
Item D, items from the Department of Parks and Recreation. Good evening, Director.
Tonight, we're requesting a ordinance for supplemental appropriation to reduce appropriations in the Capital Improvement Fund and increase appropriations into the State Capital Grant Fund. The reason for this is the state grant that we received in for the project of the Price Road House requires for those funds to be in its own account. So this would be the ability to move that $98,000 into the State Capital Fund.
Any questions? Yes, Ms. Bowers.
Just a quick questions on the Price Roadhouse, since we're here. What do we anticipate the capacity of the spaces, the classroom spaces and meeting spaces to be, if you have that information yet?
Sure. We're looking at about 5,000 square feet of usable space. That will be segmented into 3 different areas. We are happy to be able to also, not including in that 5,000 square footage, is an outdoor deck area, which could also be used as a separate space for programming. So in full total, 4 locations for improved space.
Sounds great, thank you.
All right, everyone okay with first and then consent on that one?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Director. Item E, items from the Senior Director of Administrative Services.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Corey and I are here today to discuss the city's property and casualty insurance. Also, I'll be referring to it as risk insurance through our presentation. So we're here today to present a resolution for the mayor, a resolution that the mayor, the finance director, and other necessary persons are authorized to execute agreements and documents necessary to join, become a member of, and subscribe to the Central Ohio Risk Management Association, also known as CORMA. Under Ohio Revised Code, municipal organizations can join with other political subdivisions in establishing and maintaining a joint self-insurance pool for property and casualty insurance. This provides members with economies of scale through joint purchasing and greater control over insurance policies and claims covered issue. In addition, there is a significant sharing of risk management and loss control practices between member cities and pools. As part of the strategic realignment of staffing and divisions within the city in the fourth quarter of 2022, the city's property and casualty insurance, or risk insurance, was realigned under the Department of Administrative Services. We began a comprehensive review of the city's current insurance processes, which included risk insurance and an update of all asset schedules. The city currently purchases risk insurance through the Ohio Joint Self-Insurance Pool with a term of April 1 through March 31 each year. Risk insurance is purchased on a yearly basis. To prepare for the 2023 renewal, the DAS team sought to determine options for purchasing risk insurance. The team requested information and indications from 3 insurance pools: our current pool, CORMA, and the Public Entities Pool of Ohio, also known as PEP. 2 indications were received from CORMA and PEP. Our current pool was non-responsive. DAS, along with the Senior Director of Operations, then held meetings with representatives from CORMA and PEP. After a review and analysis of the indications received, along with additional information provided in the meetings, and an additional review remaining in the current pool, we're respectfully requesting a resolution to transfer to CORMA. Mr. Weibensinger is now going to give you a brief history on CORMA and the advantages that CORMA will give to the city.
All right, thank you. Good evening. So CORMA was created in 1997 and serves as the risk-sharing pool in accordance with Ohio Revised Code for cities such as Westerville, Dublin, Upper Arlington, Pickerington, Grove City, Groveport, Powell, Canal Winchester, Grandview Heights, and now including Hilliard. These members pool together resources for the joint purchasing of property and casualty insurance. The Korma Governing Board is comprised of 2 members from each member city. The board elects officers annually, approves bylaws, establishes policies, and does contracts with service providers. There is a 2-step process for becoming a member of Korma. First, the Korma board votes to admit new members, which has already voted to approve the admission of the city of Gahanna. Once approved by this council, then Korma bylaws require each of the city councils of the member cities to vote on admission of the city of Gahanna. This process is currently ongoing. Korma does require a 3-year commitment. Korma offers coverage on the traditional occurrence and claims made forms similar to our current pool. The fundamental difference is Korma purchases excess insurance from well-known and regulated insurers. Each member is named insured on the excess policy, so there is privity of contract that does not exist in our current pool. This transition will provide the city of Gahanna with greater control of claims administration issues, coordination of risk management and loss control resources, earned income by investing lost funds and lost revenues, a financially sound pool, and surplus fund contributions that are owned by Korma and accounted for by its members. In addition, we will purchase cyber and crime coverage outside of the Korma pool with the assistance of the insurance agents representing Korma.
At this time, a supplemental appropriation for the cost of insurance is not needed, as the city will be joining Korma mid-insurance cycle, and sufficient appropriations are approved in the 2023 operating budget. The Korma insurance renewal period is October 1st through September 30th each year. Therefore, we will be back in August after rate setting is complete to request funding that would provide coverage through September of 2024. The budget request in 2024 will then include the request for 2025. In addition, the DAS team will be coming forward in a future meeting to request a supplemental appropriation to pay deductibles and claims. We respectfully request a resolution authorizing the mayor, the finance director, and any necessary persons to execute any and all documents and agreements necessary to join and become a member to Korma. Do you have any questions?
All right, thank you. Colleagues? Yes, Ms. Bowers.
Did we receive any kind of non-renewal notice from the current insurer, from OGA SIP?
Our contract with that pool requires that we give a 60-day notice that we're seeking bids outside of that pool, and that notice was provided well in advance of the 60 days, and they have been notified that we intend not to renew. I also asked for renewal information back in November and have to date never received the information as to how to request a renewal quote from them.
Any indication as to why?
Their pool has a little bit of history behind it. They were the pool that was endorsed by the Ohio Municipal League. And in 2017, OML switched their membership to a different pool. And so since then, there's been a decline in that pool. They are also operating the red at this time.
Thank you. Anyone else? Oh, yes, Ms. Padova.
Is the current contract 3 years, or would that be new with this contract?
So each insurance renewal cycle is on a yearly basis. However, the Korma bylaws require the city of Gahanna and any of its members to commit to at least 3 years with the pool because it takes that long to build up the credibility with insurance.
Thank you.
Okay, consent for this one, okay with everybody? Yes. All right, thank you both.
Thank you.
Okay, page 2. Turn to item F, items from the Department of Engineering.
Is this on?
Good evening.
Good evening. Members of council, I have a handful of items for you this evening. At the Council Committee of the Whole meeting on February 13th, provided an update on the 2022 sidewalk program that illustrated a significant overage in the projected cost expenditures for the program area that was identified last summer. At the request of council, our department has revisited the streets that were assessed to get a program that would fit within the budget. And we filtered those streets that were evaluated based off of proximity to local schools within the city. So we have come back with a proposal for an amendment for the program area that would include Ashford Glen Court, Ashford Glen Drive, Avonwick, Haymarket, Codette, Lincolnshire, and River Ridge to fit within the appropriation for 2023. So we're looking to amend the 2022 sidewalk program area and then have a resolution of necessity and then also requesting permission to bid.
Colleagues. Mr. Schnetzer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Director. I'm hoping to, I guess, just understand a little bit more or understand better how this approach, I guess, would either lengthen the program in general, so obviously not just this year, but we're talking in out years, I guess lengthen the time to completion, and then how it, I guess, might impact some individuals' quality of life. And I guess what I'm getting at here is when this program, I don't even know if it was the first iteration, second iteration, third iteration, but there was an approach to this by one of your predecessors that the sidewalk program would follow the streets program. And I believe the logic there was when you redo the streets, you redo the intersections, and you redo the ADA ramps at the same time. So there was no sense in doing a sidewalk program prior to putting in an ADA compliant ramp, right? So effectively what we were witnessing is street would get done in year 1, sidewalk program might come in year, say, 3. There'd be some, again, this is not, there's no rule or anything like that. It's just, that was kind of the practice that we saw. And maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but there were a number of streets, we've obviously had several years here where it seems like every year is the biggest streets rebuild program that we've had. Each one tops the prior. And it would seem we're going to have a lot of ADA compliant ramps attached to non-ADA compliant sidewalks. I guess that's fundamentally what I'm trying to drive at. And I don't, is that a mischaracterization of what is going to happen here?
So our intent going forward is we're going to do a citywide assessment of the sidewalk system within the city, get a baseline, and utilize that information in partnership with our street program, our annual street program. So the intent is coming up this summer to have that source information available to help us inform the 2024 street program as well as the sidewalk program, so that work is occurring in unison in the 2024 program. We would provide notice to the residents this upcoming fall to allow those property owners the ability to opt out of the program, perform the work themselves in advance of the 24 street program and sidewalk program, and have all that work occur so that not only the ADA ramps at the intersection, but also the sidewalks adjoining the frontage of residential properties are maintained as a part of that.
Okay. So I understand that. So that's essentially, I guess, next year and going forward. What about that 2 to 3 year gap, give or take? Again, we've had a lot of streets that have been rebuilt. They have ADA compliant ramps now. they may or may not have ADA compliant sidewalks now. So how do we bridge that gap?
A part of that, as we go forward with the assessment, we can take a look back and understand what those costs are and adequately budget for those. To take that 3-year look back and put a program in place that not only would cover the 2024 program, but then also address previous years within the accommodations of the approved budget.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else from my colleagues? Okay, so is everyone okay with consent for the first three, or would you like these on the regular agenda, Mr. Shenton?
I don't have a problem with it, it's fine.
Okay. Consent for those first three, thank you.
Thank you. And the next item is related to acceptance of easements right-of-way and public acceptance of a sanitary sewer for private development, Alder Apartments at the intersection of Morrison and Waterbury Court.
Anything from colleagues? All right, on for first and then consent?
Sounds good.
All right, anything else before we adjourn, Ms. Bowers?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, I had spoken with Mr. Renner about adding a standing item to the agenda in relation to just a facilities update, and whether or not there actually is anything to formally update council on. But my thinking behind that was just having kind of an awareness, or at least a couple sentences about where we're at, maybe with bid process or things like that, so that we could be aware or anticipate if something might have to come forward with waiver and emergency, so that there's an awareness ahead of.
A little more awareness, sure.
Yeah.
So we plan to be at the first committee of the whole meeting every month between now and the time in which construction completes and we move into the building. So on this off week, if you would, the second committee of the whole meeting, we can, if there is something of note, we can make sure that we get on the agenda. I think from a process standpoint, based on my presentation from 3 weeks ago, the next time you would see us is when we're establishing that, from a formal action standpoint, establishing that guaranteed maximum price that Elford would be setting as the construction manager. But yeah, we will be giving you guys regular updates in that first committee meeting of the month, and then as needed in that second committee meeting of the month for sure.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Schultz.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Schultz, and I apologize, I sent you away too quickly, or I did not say thank you, Director Comlank, I appreciate the quick turnaround on amending the program and for coming back to the committee, appreciate it, so thank you. Anyone else? All right, seeing nothing further, we'll adjourn the Committee of the Whole. Thank you, have a good evening. Ruthless efficiency.